Hello, so in this video we're going to take a look at the differences between driving instructors and driving coaches. Now many people don't even know that there's such a thing as a driving coach. Now when you say to people, they say what do you do for a living, and you say well I'm a driving coach, they always say the same thing, are you a coach driver? No, not a coach driver, I'm a driving coach. Oh, so you drive coaches for a living? No, they all think I'm a coach driver. I'm not a driving instructor, I'm a driving coach. So let me explain what the difference is. Well, there are quite a few differences, but it's quite a long thing to explain. So I'm going to do my best in this video to try and help out and help you understand what the differences are. Now, a driving instructor is simply someone who teaches people to drive using traditional methods. Now, these are the methods that are laid down by the DVSA. They're the people that conduct all the tests for learners and driving instructors alike. So a driving instructor will probably do a lesson in the way that you've seen me do lessons before. So if you watch the videos I did with Emma and Ella, and I've done others before that, you'll see that it's just like traditional teaching methods. So you'll turn up at a pupil's house and you'll say, today we're going to do roundabouts, crossroads, whatever. You'll drive to an appropriate area. You would do a little diagram like this, and I'll come back to this in a moment. You do a little diagram of like junctions or whatever you're going to do, whether it's a roundabout, you might draw a roundabout in, and then you have a 5 to 10 minute talk about how you're going to do them and the rules of them. Then you go off and the instructor talks through everything to begin with, and then they gradually say less and less, and they pass responsibility on to the pupil. And that is how things have been taught for thousands of years. Not just driving, of course, driving hasn't been around that long, but things like how to fish, martial arts, archery, languages. That's how you teach people things. You do it, they repeat it, and then they gradually pick up the skill. Now in the year 2014 there was quite a big change coming for driving instructors about the way they were assessed. Now when you become a driving instructor, you could still be a driving instructor. When you have what you call a standards check, which is when you have an examiner sit in the back of the car every 2 to 4 years to assess your teaching, you are now expected to use driving coaching methods. You don't have to, but they are trying to sort of push people that way, so we all become driving coaches. So what on earth is a driving coach? Well, I'm going to rub this diagram out, and I can help use this to show you this whiteboard. A driving coach is someone who doesn't so much teach a pupil, but they allow the people to teach themselves. Now, if you've been to college or uni, you'll probably be familiar with this kind of thing like training, coaching, rather than plain old-fashioned instructing. Now, what a coach will do, for example, is, let's just say that you're going to pick up a pupil and you're going to teach them how to do turning left. A coach would rarely ever say to the pupil, we're going to do turning left, because you don't teach topics, you teach skills that are developed and formed into topics. Now I know this sounds really confusing, it is really mind-boggling and baffling when you first do it. The first few times I began coaching, it blows your mind, it's so hard to do compared to instructing. But the differences are, you'll say to people, what skills do you already have? And they might say, well I can move off, yeah, I can brake, yeah, I can do clutch control, I can make the car creep slowly. And say, okay, so today we're going to go and do those things. And what we're going to do is we're going to be turning left and using those skills. So you're not teaching turning left. You don't pull up and do a 5-minute debrief about turning left. You don't go over like things like junctions and give way lines and stop signs and all that kind of thing. You still teach the topic, but you're not directly teaching it. Now that's just one way that coaches work. So you are still teaching people to drive, but not in the same way. There are 2 main skills that coaches use, and these are the 2 common ones, and there are loads of others. There's scaling, mind mapping, anchors, triggers, mirroring, body language, NLP, and you probably didn't understand what half that meant, but that's just the way it goes. There's lots and lots to cover, and I will be explaining all of those things in future videos. So let's get back on track. Coaches would use techniques such as scaling. So you would say to a pupil, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, how do you think you're doing on, for example, turning left? And they might say, oh, I'm doing 5. And you say, okay, so what gives it a 5? What makes it a 5? And they might say, well, I've got problems with this and this, and I don't really like doing this. And you will see me doing this in the future, by the way. I'm currently filming a whole series of videos, which is all about coaching. I'm filming a whole 40-hour course of videos with me teaching the people using the coaching method. We're already about 3 hours into it, just going to film the 4th and 5th hour soon. So those videos are coming from the summer onwards, summer 2016 onwards. But for now, I'm just trying to explain. It's quite hard to explain it without actually doing it. But a coach will say to people, give me a number 1 to 10 of how you're doing. The people says 5 and say, okay, what's going wrong? And the people might say, well, I'm not really sure. So a coach will do something what you call a mind map. No, a mind map is simply like brainstorming. So in the middle of the page, or middle of the board, for me, let's keep it on roundabouts, because roundabouts are fine is a good example. I do a lot of work on roundabouts. So you draw a roundabout, just a circle, like that. And then you pass this to the people and you say to them, I want you to write down what you think about roundabouts. And the people can write, I've had some pretty wacky results with this. Some people just write down something like, scared. So they write down the word scared, like that, and you'll say, why are you scared? And then you branch off from that, so they say, well, I'm scared because whenever I get there, I all seem to be stalling. Okay, so you write down stalling. It's hard to write with this pen because it's a bit of a marker pen. And they'll say, what else scares you? And they'll say, oh, well, I can't tell when to go. Okay, so let's put telling when to go. Well, I won't write the whole thing, I'll put TWTG, telling when to go. And you write down lots and lots of things like that. And some people's write some pretty obscure things. I mean, if I do what people had, the people did to me once when I said, what do you think of roundabouts? And they wrote this, which is a bit off-putting if you're a driving instructor, but they wrote the word death. Why do you think of death when you think of roundabouts? And it's quite interesting to get into people's heads and see what they're thinking. This is what coaching is all about. When we delved into it, death was just because they had a real phobia of roundabouts. Turns out that in the past they actually had a crash on a roundabout that I didn't know about, and that's where these things, mind maps, come in. Now that's a very basic example. It's very, very brief. It takes hours and hours to explain all of this. That's just the basic tools you can use. So that's scaling and mind mapping. Just 2 very basic tools which I will be doing videos about in the future and going over in much more detail. So you see the difference between a driving instructor and a driving coach. Coaching is quite a bizarre and weird way of doing it when you first begin. But the thing is, at the moment there's this huge debate. Whenever you go into driving test centres, there are instructors, wrestling on the floor, fighting, not literally, but they're kind of fighting amongst themselves. I think instruction's better, I think coaching's better. I've been instructing 20 years, I've been coaching 3 years, and my pupils are better than yours. Blah, blah, blah. So I want to see what people think about this. So anyone watching this as a pupil, or if you're just interested in driving in general, which method would you rather have? Would you rather be taught by a driving instructor or a driving coach? There'll be a poll on the screen now. If you click the link at the top right of the screen, the top right will be here, I think. There, can't work out which one I'm facing. Yeah, I think the top right will be that way, but it's on the screen somewhere anyway. So have a click on the screen and vote on the poll. What do you think's better, a driving instructor or a driving coach? Now I know I haven't explained that in very much detail there. There's loads and loads I'm going to on each one. Now, like I said, we'll be doing a series of videos. I'm already filming them now. I'm filming them with the people. There might be a preview up on the screen now. There may not be, I don't know, because I've got so much work to do. I can't get the videos edited. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on driving instruction, driving coaching. And it's going to be interesting to see where this goes, because I'm developing my own coaching skills. And I really want to see where this goes in the future. So thanks for watching. Watch out for those videos coming in the summer of 2016 onward. And I'll see you again soon for more videos.